Hey guys, welcome to another video of my channel, and in this video I'm gonna show you again the third episode on the progress my paper Glock 17 Gen 4. So as you can see, I pretty much have the frame already completed. As you can see, the magazine can already be inserted here in the frame, although I don't have the magazine release yet. Here, as you can see, I have the little details for the rest for your thumb. When you hold the gun like this, you have your thumb resting in this little cutout here. It is actually pretty comfortable in both sides to hold the gun. And here, although these side panels are already in place, they are not glued yet to this part of the frame. I only have a tape right here, because I still need to give it a little more inside finishings, things that will be pretty difficult for me to make when I have these panels already glued, because I need to reach this inner surface here. Here you can see I have a little cutout for the slide release thing. I have this little channel here for the trigger bar. It is very narrow channel, but it will do the job. And the magazine goes inside like this. Still need to make here the back portion. It is a pretty difficult portion to make because we have all the housing for the trigger group. The trigger group goes mostly inside here. And yeah, so here's a prototype for the back wall. So we're gonna have a back wall like this to guide the magazine and hold the trigger housing back here. I'm not going to glue in place this specific back wall because this is made out of cardboard, and of course I'm gonna do a prettier back wall made out of paper with all the proper finishings and stuff like that. Then I'm gonna glue it in this very position here. So here's the magazine. I already can finish the magazine here because, as you can see, I can insert it inside the frame, and in this top portion of the frame it's going to stick out. I guess that's how it's going to look like, a little bit of magazine coming out of the frame through the top right here. And then it already gives me the correct length for the magazine, so I'll need to trim down this part here, but I'm not doing it now. Probably I'm doing in this episode, but not now. Okay, we can put the bullets here inside the magazine, and it looks like this. Okay, pretty much. So here we are having the slide release and other inner mechanisms, right? So, but for now it's basically it. Okay, just to show my progress. Now what I'm going to do, I guess I'll be making the definitive back wall. I'm gluing this one and this one in place. Okay, then I'm gonna just need to do the job here in the back portion. It is a pretty difficult part, so probably take me a little bit of time. And yeah, so that's it. We still have to make the rails right here for the slide, the round shape right here in the back portion of the pistol grip, for it to be ergonomic and comfortable while you're holding the gun. Okay, but yeah, basically just it, and see you soon. So yeah, here I have a little bit of progress in the back portion. I have already made the back wall. As you can see, it is about, I guess I used here 17 or 18 layers of paper. So as you can see, it's not that thick, but it is already sturdy enough for me to use it as a spacer here in the back portion of the pistol. And I've also started to make here the back housing for the trigger assembly and the rails for the slide. So as you can see here, I have the same holes that I have here in the front to put the rails here. So I'm gonna basically just insert some sheet metal inside these 4 holes in order to make the rails for the slide, and then bend them in the correct height and position. But yeah, that's how it's looking like right now. And Actually, I still need to apply some more baking soda super glue to this back surface here. As you can see, I have already started the finishings, but I still need to make it more even and stuff like that. And also here, as you can see, this space here between this surface and this surface will be the thickness for the trigger assembly. It will be like a little box that will be inserted here. It's going to be held in this place because of a pin that goes right here. It goes like in the counter part of the pistol grip, so that's why I don't have the hole for the pin yet. Here we have a little cutout in the back wall which stands for the trigger bar, so the trigger bar is gonna come out of the trigger here. Then it's going to be guided in this little rail right here in the wall of the frame. Then it's going to come to the trigger assembly through this cutout here, and then it's gonna bend inside and operate the whole thing back here. Okay, that's why we have this little cutout, and that's how the pistol's looking like so far. I always say it is pretty good. It is coming out pretty good. All the details here, I'm being very precise in making all the details. And also I've added here some more layers in the front of the disassembly lever thing. As you can see here, these two steps, one on each side, to make the little countering we have inside here for the disassembly lever, and also the side counterings here. As you all may know, the Glock's a little bit countered here in the inside, so that's why I have this step here, and I'll be filling these gaps with some epoxy, the same substance I used here in the thumb rest thing, same substance I'm gonna be applying here in order to make the counterings inside in this whole lateral surface here, also here in the front and here in the front portion of the pistol grip. Still need to use my cutting knife to counter it more inside to make it more ergonomic and stuff like that. So here, as you can see, I have already glued the two side panels together, so I don't have a tape anymore here holding them together. And also I've applied some epoxy here to the edges to make it countered inside in both sides, as you can see. Still need to apply a little bit more of epoxy here in the bottom part and all this front magwell to make the details, but I'm not making it yet because I still need to work a little bit more here with baking soda and super glue. I haven't yet glued the back wall because I still need to file a little bit more here in the inside to make it countered and follow the magazine shape. As you can see, I've made some counterings here in the mag wall. And also, I guess now working on the recoil spring cover. So to make the recoil spring cover, I basically just cut out these two paper rectangles, and what I'm going to do, I'm just basically gluing them in this position, one on each side, to make the rail here for you to attach a lantern or laser or whatever you want to attaching the pistol. Okay, I'm basically just gluing these two rectangles here, one on each side, to make the rails. And here for the bottom cover, I guess I'm just going to be using a paper cylinder to make the round shape right here. Just apply some epoxy to make it more even and rounded. But yeah, that's it. That's what I'm actually going to do right now. You can see I have already started to make the recoil spring cover. It is coming out pretty good so far. So as you can see, we have rails in both sides. We have the little cutout here for you to install a lantern or laser or whatever you want. Here we have a little cutout Glocks having the recoil spring cover, and I still need to make the round part inside here. So I guess I'm basically going to cut in half a paper cylinder and glue it right here. Okay, as you can see, I didn't use a paper cylinder to make this bottom part, as I have said, because the paper cylinder wasn't coming out very smooth, okay. I had lots of wrinkles in the paper cylinder, so I guess that would complicate me at some point. So that's why I decided to make it with 3 paper rectangles. So as you can see, we have a angled rectangle right here, another angled rectangle right here. These are actually the same piece, just mirrored, and we have a center paper rectangle. So as you can see, these 3 rectangles together gave the shape for the recoil spring cover. This cover here is not glued to this part yet, so as you can see we have a little gap inside here in each side. But to fill these gaps, I'm firstly going to glue the half paper cylinder inside here to make the internal shape for the frame, the recoil spring cover part of the frame. It is actually a little bit rounded inside like this. And then I'm gonna just give finishings, outside finishings with epoxy to make all the curved surface right here. So here I have already glued the half cylinder in place. So as you can see, I've made this little detail. Now I guess it is pretty much completed, the recoil spring cover, the main structure. Now in the next step I'm gonna be applying epoxy in this little step here. I have a step in both sides, as you can see. This step I'm gonna be filling with some epoxy. Also this other step here. This middle surface here is actually supposed to be a little bit rounded, just like this one. But I'm not doing this rounded thing yet because I still need to make a little channel here for the disassembly latch. And in the front of this little channel, the round surface will start. So that's why I'm not doing the counterings here yet. Here in the front of the gun, as you can see how it came out. This little gap right here and the other in the other side. I'll probably just put some metal rods inside here for it to gain a little bit of weight. And then I'm gonna just close these gaps with epoxy also. And then of course I need to work a little bit more here on the rails. I started here to fill the little step with some epoxy, and I did not finish yet because I put a little metal ring here to act as a spacer for these walls not to narrow inside while the epoxy was drying. So that's why I haven't filled these gaps yet, but I'm actually filling these in the sequence. And also I am putting some metal rods inside here. As you can see, I have 2 little gaps, one on each side here in the front of the recoil spring cover. So I'm going to be using these metal rods. I'm going to put one here and one here, like this. So then the frame will actually weight a little bit more and get closer to the real gun's weight. So I have already finished applying some epoxy here to the rails in the front of the gun. So as you can see, it has pretty much a triangular shape looking here in the front view. And I still need to file it down a little bit more because it is still a little bit messy, but actually not doing it now because now I am finishing this episode, otherwise it would be very long and boring. So yeah, that's it for this episode, okay? Hope you liked the video. If you like, leave a like here for the video, comment below, feel free to ask any questions about this project here or anything you wanna ask about. And that's it, okay? So see you next time.
And how careless we could